Hey guys, Ian here. Welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing something which I've been doing a lot on my Twitch channel lately, where I've been taking random animals and squishing them together in order to create some new weird and wonderful creature. This one, however, is going to be an extra special video because it is also my very first collab with another YouTube artist. Today I am joined by Katelyn McCaigue. Hello, Katelyn.
Hey!
So, the way that this is going to work, as far as I understand it, you have 3 animals that you're going to give to me, and along with an attribute as well. And then we're going to part ways for a little while, and I'm going to do my best to come up with some new weird and wacky creature from those ones that you've given me. And then we're going to come back together a little bit later, right?
Yeah, it'll be really fun. So, like you said, I'll give you some animals and an attribute, you mash them, and then I am excited to see what you make from these. It's going to be pretty dang cool, I think.
So in return for the creatures that you're giving me, I'm also going to be giving you 3 creatures and an attribute that you're going to be doing the same process with on your channel as well, right?
Yep.
Okay then, Katelyn, give me your animals. What horrors have you got in store for me?
I'm actually excited because I kind of reached out a little bit and did some really interesting creatures, so I think it's going to give you a lot of flexibility of what to put together.
Right.
I think it's going to be pretty dang cool.
All right, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty sick. So the first one is one of my favorite reptiles, and it gives you a lot of, I guess, color diversity. So first off, you're going to have a chameleon.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. I'm looking forward to this already.
I know, so that one is a really cool, interesting thing, lots of textures, lots of colors.
Absolutely.
And then the second one kind of gives you a new texture and a different shape, so I thought it'd be fun to do a hippopotamus.
Okay. Right.
And then, completely different. We got a little chameleon, a huge hippopotamus, and then this third one was one I actually discovered recently. So this one can give you, I guess, some really cool patterning and maybe some additional little, I guess, add-ons to your creature or whatever you think of.
Right.
And it is the bongo antelope.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a very, very pretty animal.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, alright, okay. I have no idea where I'm going to go with these things, but I'm going to have fun experimenting. Alright.
Yeah, I think these ones are going to be pretty fun, but on top of it, the attribute, I think, will really, seal the deal. I think you could make something pretty cool with it.
Okay.
So what this attribute is going to be is an elemental creature.
Oh, blimey. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you, my elementals in the past haven't gone as well as I would like, so this is gonna either go one of 2 ways, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'll do my best. I'll come up with something interesting for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think you got a lot to work with, and it'll be cool to see what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Thank you for that, Katelyn. Right, I'm gonna take these animals away to Photoshop and see what I can come up with over the next however long.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet up and we'll see what you come up with.
Excellent. Cheers, Katelyn.
All right, bye.
Alright, so the first creature that Katelyn has given me is chameleon. Now, there are so many different species of chameleon, there are so many different patterns and colours that I could possibly take from these guys, I literally don't know where to start. However, above and beyond the colours and the patterns, there are other features of these guys that I could possibly take. For example, the eye, the fact that they can swivel in 360 degrees and totally independently of one another. There's plenty of other things that I can bring from these guys. Obviously, there's the textures, the scales, and obviously I would be an idiot not to use their chameleonic camouflage in the final creature. The second animal that Katelyn gave me is the hippo. Now, probably the most striking thing about a hippo is their sheer size, and that's going to be one of the characteristics that I carry forward in combination with one of the characteristics from the next animal. Other characteristics that I'd like to take from the hippo include the muzzle, I think is a fantastic shape, and combine that with the monstrous tusks that these guys have hidden within their mouth. I think we could bring those 2 things forward as well to our final creature. And that brings me on to the final creature that Katelyn gave me, the bongo antelope. Now, I have come across these guys before. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to them, but now that I'm looking at them, I can see that they have quite a muscular frame beneath their skin. If you look at this guy in particular, you can see that there is a lot of muscle going on under here. And I think combining that with the bulk and the size of the hippo, we're going to make our creature Hulk out. It's going to be a big, muscular thing. Other things that I like about these guys, obviously these horns are amazing. Combine that with the tusks that we've already got from the hippo. That is going to make our animal look awesome. I love the patterns on them as well. And I also am really digging the ears and some of the shapes from the head of these guys as well. I may try and combine them into one skull, the hippo and the bongo antelope. So I love the patterns and the markings on these guys and the patterns and markings on the chameleon as well. I'm probably going to be trying to bring those into the final creature, but a lot of the colors and the patterns that we end up using in the final creature are going to be affected by the elemental power that we choose. So out of the 4 elements, we've got fire, earth, wind, and water. Now, whilst fire is cool, I think we'd end up detracting from the final creature if we included fire. It may end up conflicting with some of the other colors that we may end up wanting to use. Creating wind elemental is difficult to get across in any circumstances, but this creature that we're creating here really doesn't sound like a wind elemental to me at all. Now, water might be interesting because we've got the hippo in there, but because of the other 2 creatures that we're combining in, I don't think that'll work at the end of the day. So I'm going to go with an earth elemental, and I have some ideas of how I might go about doing that in combination with the animals that we already have. So without any more ado, let's jump over into Photoshop, start cutting and splicing these animals together, and see what our Cameleo Antilopotamus with the elemental power of earth ends up looking like. After breaking down the animals that Katelyn had given me and finding the characteristics that I liked from each of the animals, I had come up with a fairly solid idea in my head of what it was that I wanted to go for, leaning very heavily on the anatomy of the chameleon over the other 2 animals I felt would really reinforce the earth elemental feeling. That, coupled with combining the skull of the antelope and the hippo, would ultimately give the creature a very demonic feeling. Usually it would be best to throw down a lot of ideas onto one page and come up with a few different ideas for the final creature before settling on the final design, but because I had quite a clear picture in my mind of what I wanted to go for, I went straight into working out some of the finer details of that skull shape, things and aspects that I liked, such as whether or not I wanted to include the chameleon's eyes or the antelope's ears, both of which I actually ended up dismissing. The ears because it overemphasized the antelope shape of the head, and the eyes, whilst they added a fairly crazed look to the animal, they also looked kind of weird, so I opted to just go with the antelope's eyes instead. I also changed my mind about the large muscular creature that I was talking about when I was breaking down the animals. In my head it felt like a really good idea, but as I tried to lay it down on the paper, I found that it was giving the creature a much more humanoid feeling. So instead I opted to downsize those muscles, still have them there, but reduce the amount of bulk that I was using from the hippo. I could probably have gotten away with using that bulk and those muscles that I'd wanted to had I designed a bipedal version of this creature instead. But I have done a lot of bipedal creatures lately, and I really wanted to go back into more of a low to the ground creature-y kind of creature. When it came to incorporating the earth elemental aspect of the creature, it really comes down to whether I wanted to go down the stone route or the wooden route. And I felt with my leaning on the anatomy of the chameleon so much, it would be really cool to have this creature up in the trees, and that would make sense for it to be a wooden elemental. And that gave me the idea of incorporating the wooden textures into the actual scales of the creature, as though the scales themselves had evolved into this wooden-like structure. I think I'm seeing this creature as sort of a woodland guardian waiting up in the treetops, camouflaged in its chameleonic scales, waiting for unwitting or possibly wrongdoing travelers in the area, then descending down from the treetops and changing into the bright, vibrant colors as though it's about to leap down and attack, or something like that. I don't know. I really like the final design of this creature, and I think the angle that I've decided to draw it at really helps encapsulate that very menacing feeling. Looking up into the tree canopy is almost very disorientating for the viewer. We're not used to maybe paintings or images being at this angle, so it helps with that unnerving element to the final piece. I had considered early on having a second one of these creatures up in branches a little bit further back into the image, still in its camouflaged form, so that you don't actually notice it, almost like it's hidden within the picture itself. I realised that I simply wasn't going to have the time to do this, even though I do push background elements very far into the background using various blurs and atmospheric layers, so it wouldn't have had to have been that detailed. It would still have had to have been detailed enough for you to be able to tell what it was, and I just don't think that it would have added enough to the picture having it there to warrant adding more time to the final piece. Which is a shame, because I still really like the idea. Looking back on the painting now, one thing that I would really like to go back and change is the nose shape of the upper half of the skull to the creature. I'd really like to push the shape of it more towards the shape of the hippo's muzzle. I was planning on doing that. I'm not entirely certain why I didn't. I think I was trying to bring in the skull shape from the chameleon into the mix as well, and whilst it works in some aspects, there is very reptilian feeling to the final skull, it doesn't quite work as well as the hippo muzzle shape I think would have done. I think that would have been a lot better. So there's just a few finishing touches. I made the eyes glow green. I felt that would help emphasize that earth elemental. Then it's just a case of finishing up the background and some of the more atmospheric layers. And there you have it. The chameleon hippopotamus bongo antelope elemental is done. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So like I say, I'm really happy with the way that this has come out, and that kind of leaves just one thing, and that's to jump onto the phone and see what Katelyn thinks of it. Okay, Katelyn, are you ready to see this?
I am so ready.
Okay, I will hit the button in 3, 2, 1, and...
Whoa, holy shit! That's so cool!
Yeah, he went a way that I wasn't expecting him to at all.
But still awesome.
I didn't use much of the hippo. I used the lower jaw from the hippo and the ears from the hippo, and that was about it. But the rest of it is mostly a chameleon and, what was it? Bongo antelope.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool though. I do love how you use the lower jaw with the sharp tusks. It's very, frightening.
I felt those tusks alongside the horn and then the ridges from the chameleon. Definitely those things together, combined.
Yeah.
It gives it a pretty gnarly look.
It does.
And then I wasn't sure about the elemental thing, so I went earth.
I like it. I like your use of the wood because it makes sense with the chameleon being in the tree. It would be like some wood earth elemental.
Excellent. That's exactly what I thought as well. And then I thought, well, the scales could be like more bark-like, so they've branched off in this bark-like fashion, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be
There's
cool.
so many ways that it could go.
Yeah, and it looks awesome. I love it.
I'm so glad that you like it.
Nice job, man.
Excellent. I'm so happy to have done this collaboration with you, Katelyn.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thanks for collaborating.
Not a problem. And you guys at home watching this, make sure that you go and check out Katelyn's half of this collaboration over on her channel. You can find links to Katelyn's YouTube down in the description, and obviously links to the video will be on the end card as well. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Katelyn?
Bye everybody.
See you next time, guys.